Awakening Spirit with Krow Fischer, Wendy Murdoch, and the Council of Elders, bringing advanced spiritual understandings to modern-day living here on Earth. Hi, it's Krow. We have an interview of Red and the Council of Elders by Wendy, and we're talking about the social unrest we're experiencing here at the beginning of 2014. I was really surprised at some of the information that was coming through, but by the end I was feeling hopeful and inspired. If you're interested in any more teachings that the Council have brought forward or the book Weavers of Light, you can visit us at www.hereonearth.ca.
Hi, this is Wendy. So, Red, it seems we have a lot of social unrest on just about every continent right now. For example, the Ukraine, Sudan, Philippines, Syria, and Central Americas. And it is making us all very nervous. So what's going on?
Well, it's no wonder you're all feeling this unrest. It most definitely is planetary as well as personal. As we spoke about in our book, Weavers of Light, that we brought forward at the beginning of this century, your planet has been under a cloak of forgetfulness and of patterning from the draconian star system. As we have said in many of our teaching CDs, you have virtually become a slave planet here. And as the draconian system has placed its attitudes and belief systems across your planet like a network grid, your social patterns, for the most part, have flowed along these particular grid lines. When your whole galaxy moved into a new part of the dark matter of the universe at the end of your year 2012, these patterns from this old dead star have begun dissipating on your planet. Many people have begun to realize the oppressive factions that have been holding people in a state of mental and spiritual slavery and physical slavery as well. And this great movement and great awakening among the people have begun to push these old patterns off. This is the movement and the force you are seeing on your planet. In the areas of the world that have been the most under pressure of this slavery, you are going to see the biggest pushback, and that is what's causing these uprisings. But as you notice, the more the people of the planet push, the harder you're getting the pushback here. I remember you asking me on the very first teaching CD we did about the backlash of the draconian influence, and we spoke about that back then. This is what you're all experiencing now. Wherever the people have a will and a movement to be free of this oppression, they are pushing off. Those that have been under the strongest influence of the draconian system have become really afraid of losing their power. They don't believe they can survive if they do not have power and control over the people. So basically, they are fighting for their existence, it feels like. They don't realize that it truly is an illusionary state of mind. What you see happening right now on the planet is showing you what's going on in the vying for power. As the old forces are no longer able to exert their power and control, new factions are trying to move up and hold that. There still is the belief system that you have to control the people, or old Hades will break loose. And this belief system, since so many adhere to it, is allowing this kind of oppression to keep resurfacing and keep reintegrating itself. This is a time in your world where nothing can be kept hidden for long anymore, and the old secrets are being exposed. As more comes out, the everyday person is realizing the great extent to which they have been duped into handing their power over, and are finding their own strength and awakening to their own potentials here. So you've got people that are willing to sacrifice their current lifetime to throw this opposition off. You've got people that are coming out of their stupor, out of their states of hopelessness, and are willing to fight for the future of humanity. There is a great fear for many as they witness the destruction of the planet, and they are willing to step up and stand forward for their future. The people who have been closely connected to the lands in every country in your world are finding that connection again with the earth itself, and are rising up on behalf of the planet as well to push this system off. It's going to be very important for all of you to recognize that it's not the people themselves, but it's the energy systems they have aligned themselves with that are the enemy, not the people who are caught up in those systems. As we talked about in our karma CD and in our addiction CD, there are many realms that are under the control of this dark energy. And these realms are old dead patterns. Those of you that are wishing to create a new future for your world do need to stand in solidarity with a new vision, a vision of cooperation, a vision of negotiation. The recognition that you live on a planet that can provide for all, that can support all, if it is worked together with. A new vision for the planet, a new hope, a new creativity is what is needed. Right now you got people who feel that their backs are against the wall, and they are willing to fight, and they are willing to sacrifice their lives on behalf of a potential for the future. It's too late for this energy on this planet. The star system that feeds it is dead. There is nothing left to feed it but old habit and old potential. By bringing in new possibilities, you're going to see new futures. All over the world, city by city, community by community, people are rallying together and making collective choices for something different in the future. You're going to see new communities. You're going to see new ways of being showing themselves. You're going to see whole cities deciding to pull away and create something different for themselves. You're going to see the birth of new nations that may take place across the planet that actually would be a unity between different cities and communities all over the world, calling themselves something different. A solidarity, an understanding, and a support for all of you is what's needed. So rather than be afraid of this backlash, no matter how harsh it seems, what you need to be doing is putting your focus and your energy on what could be, what can come out of it. It's gotten really bad in some places. There are areas of the world that this old draconian influence has dug its heels in and stuck its claws in and is too afraid to move. So offering, like we said in some of our other CDs, offering a space of acceptance and a possibility of reconciliation is going to be the best move all of you can make. Rather than going into the blame, rather than labeling people, recognize the fear that's going on for this energy. You got folks here whose families have been in a ruling position for so many generations. There is an accumulation of terror. What happens if the people get power? What happens? What will they do to us? So rather than creating a situation where you got small groups of people with lots of arms who feel their backs against the wall, you need to be trying to open and be inclusive. So rather than going in and bombing the police station, go in and talk to the officers and say, do you want to serve the people? Hey, or do you want to serve the government? Because that's the choices going on in some places on the planet. In your own communities, in your households, in your places of work, and within your own selves, you are all facing this. Do you want to stay with your own principles, your own belief systems? Do you want to follow your own soul path? Or, for convenience sake, are you finding yourself aligning with something you think is going to give you power? Every one of you are having to question this in your personal lives. And I know, Wendy, as a healer, you're getting lots of folks coming into you these days, and this is their issue, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes. We said once jokingly that the skeletons were all going to come out of the closet. This is the time we were talking about. There are no secrets that cannot be exposed in your world right now. You are all getting to see what has been going on for generations. You are all getting a glimpse now of the power structures that have been in control of your planet. And rather than going and lopping off everyone's heads, because as you know, that's been done enough times on your planet, and it's never worked. What you need to be doing is assisting those who've been caught up in that to be able to recreate a different vision for themselves. Help them learn ways that they can bring those leadership skills on behalf of the people rather than on behalf of the regime or the corporation they're affiliated with. You've got cartels running your planet right now, and the cartels own many of the world leaders. Understand that. You're dealing with cartels, and the shift in power that's happening right now is a reflection of the cartels. Wherever you're seeing the uprisings happening now, follow the money. Follow the money to show you what cartels are in the midst of takeover of a different cartel. Pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. Who is supplying the arms? Who is making money off the repairs? What are the powers that are trying to come into place? And what are the powers that are being eliminated? Pay attention to how religion is being used in this. Pay attention to how ancient grudges are being dredged up and are being utilized. We cover a lot of this in our Karma CD, and it's worth paying attention to again here. Behind the scenes, you will see a vying for power between different corporate entities. You will see a vying for power between the oil industry, the arms industry, and the agricultural industry. As different areas of your world are no longer able to supply and support the population, you're going to see more movement in. The Ukrainians were always known as the breadbasket, weren't they?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Philippines also, a place in the world where a lot of food is grown. One of the biggest problems of resource you're looking at ahead is food security and clean water. So it's shifting now from oil to uncertain food supply ahead. So pay attention how that shifts the social unrest on your planet. So that's what's going on.
So how are we all going to get through this?
We have a lot of faith in humanity. As you are awakening and becoming aware of the patterns that have been in place, you are coming up with some very creative ways of circumventing these problems. This says the food system you have in place on the planet isn't working very well, hasn't for a long time. This is a giving planet, and you are children of the creators. You have the solutions. It involves looking at the problems in a different way. So as each one of you reclaim your neighborhoods and you reclaim your own personal power, you can change the outcomes that you're heading into now. You got problems with climate that are affecting your growing and your food. It's changing where the food is growing. And that's what you need to do anyway. Each community needs to start being responsible for themselves as far as transportation, food, governance, and social responsibility goes. And as each community becomes responsible for itself, you become strong communities. Uniting your communities together and giving each other support creates a network of strength that can ring your planet. Where there is unrest, you need to support those who are aiming for peace. Where there is conflict, be the good neighbors to offer mediation. Bring the techniques that you're all learning and the techniques and understandings you've brought from your own home planets here. Most of you who have been born in the last 40 years on this planet are bringing with you as emissaries the gifts of wisdom and knowledge that you have from your origins. Do not be afraid to bring those gifts forward. Do not be afraid to offer an alternate view. Do not be afraid to implement possibilities and potentials for everyone around you. Remember, many are stuck in the old draconian patterns and cannot see any other pathway. Those of you with vision, share your vision. Those of you with hope, share your hope. Those of you with the skills of negotiation and the skills of alternate thinking, bring it forward and share it. Use your prayer. Use your intention. Remember, all experiments will show in their results what the intention of the participants was. So if all of you on the planet can hold a collective intention for world peace, for living in harmony, for abundance and compassion for all, then that becomes the expectation on the planet. And this planet will do all it can to fulfill that expectation. That's what you all can do.
That's very hopeful. Thank you.